like, it's one of those, I can't, I have a really hard problem justifying you spending money on clothes, which is why I only own 3 pairs of jeans, and 2 pairs of those jeans have holes in them. Thank you for tuning into Gay Space Rocks, a Steven Universe watching podcast where we watch Steven Universe. My name is Brian. You can find me on the internet at RoomWherePod. I use he, him pronouns, and you can find the podcast on Twitter at Gay Space Pod. With me, as always, is my full of chicken dumplings co-host, August.
Hello! I'm trying being loud too to get up some energy. My name is August. Names are fake anyway, though. You can find me on Twitter at Harpydora, and my pronouns are they, them.
Motherfuckers, guess what? It's the finale.
Oh, God.
We have reached the end of season fucking 1. Today we'll be reviewing 4 episodes, so this might go long. I know you're like, yeah, Brian, we've listened to the other previous episodes of the show, but we might go longer than usual, because these were 4 actually chunky episodes all the way through. This is all thriller, no filler week. August, have you watched any cartoons?
So Anya and I have been doing cute, like, watch things before bed kind of things. Mm-hmm. And so we have started, we've already gone through season 1, and are starting season 2 of The Good Place.
Oh yeah, you were talking about that. How are you liking The Good Place?
I fucking love The Good Place. The cast is phenomenal. I really like the writing. I enjoy the fact that it's kind of like a sitcom, but there's not really a status quo. They're not afraid to shake things up a lot. The premise for season 2 is vastly different than the premise for season 1.
Mm-hmm. That's why I've heard it, like, hard resets at the end of season 1.
Yeah, it sure does, and it's a very good twist. I've seen up through most of season 2 myself. I was watching it with a different friend, and then Netflix didn't have season 3, so we stopped. But yeah, it's very good. We've also been listening to an audiobook on nights that I record /stream, so we'll be listening to an audiobook tonight.
What's the audiobook?
I'm making Anya listen to Warm Bodies.
Oh, cool.
Which is one of my favorite supernatural YA romances because it takes the piss out of a lot of those tropes while not being mean about it.
Okay, so I had this break. I was physically assaulted with the memory of Warm Bodies recently.
Oh God.
Because I didn't even know that it was a fucking book for a long time. I just thought it was a movie. That came out, in the YA boom of movies. And so anyways, I'm going to be guest starring on Kingdom Hearts Forgotten Eras. I'm not going to tell anybody what character I'm playing, though I'm very excited to play this character again. But one of them is playing a character from some kind of like Disney Channel original movie version of fucking like Warm Bodies called like Generation Z or some shit like that.
Oh my God.
And I was just like, was reading the Wikipedia for it while we were having character creation, just like fucking chiming in every 5 minutes. Like, what the fuck? What the fuck? What the fuck? So,
well, I can tell
zombies are an oppressed class, and there's zombie racism in it, and also there are werewolves too.
Okay, hold up.
Yep.
Zombies are always representative, almost always are representative of white fear typically of minorities. So yeah, zombies are representative of oppressed classes a bunch of the time, whether
Right. No,
we like it or not.
No. I'm not talking about this as subtext and they are metaphorically representing this. Zombies are sentient and an oppressed class.
Oh my god.
That's what blew my fucking mind.
Oh my god.
They have to wear trackers and shit. They live in a fucking, like, slum. It's wild.
Jesus Christ. Oh my god. Warm Bodies at least isn't like that.
No, Warm Bodies is pretty okay. I thought the movie was cute.
Yeah, the movie was cute. I didn't like the way the movie ended, largely because, spoilers for a movie that's way old and a book that's a little bit older, the dad survived in the movie when in the book he got fucking murked, and honestly he deserved it because he was even more of a douchebag in the book than the movie. Mm-hmm. This isn't a spoiler for Anya because I've already said this, so...
Yeah.
I've also seen the movie.
Yeah, but we haven't finished the book.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, it's been fun. There's still some stuff that I didn't notice the first time around where it's like, ugh, yikes, especially the way the narrator describes Julie, the female lead. But overall, it's still a pretty fun book. I highly recommend it. The narrator of the audiobook is very serviceable.
Nice. Let's see. What have I done this week? What did I watch? I continue to watch WandaVision. It continues to be pretty fucking dope. If Marvel could continue to make only cool shit for now on, that would be great. I am a little concerned that, like, while I will watch it, I will watch Falcon and Winter Soldier. I'm just concerned that we're gonna go back to, like, status quo Marvel stuff till Doctor Strange comes out. But in their defense, Falcon and Winter Soldier was supposed to actually come out before WandaVision was, and then, the fucking whole 2020 happened.
Yeah.
So maybe it was supposed to be more of a lead-in to this than that, but they are bringing back Baron Zemo for fucking Falcon and Winter Soldier, and he gets the pink or the purple sock mask, so I'm pretty fucking down for that. Also, they're doing U.S. Agent, so that's pretty cool, too.
The only thing I know about Falcon and Winter Soldier is I saw a piece of fan art floating around of Bucky and Sam with, like, aprons of each other's respective logos cooking a meal together, and honestly, if the show's not that, then I don't want it.
The trailer has this sort of, like, simmering homoeroticism to it that's pretty fucking solid.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, if you watched Captain America Civil War, that, like, basic vibe that they had is, like, turned up to 20 here. It's pretty good.
That is delightful.
Also, those are two good The nice thing about these Marvel shows, it seems, is that they take their good actors that they've signed to contracts for the rest of their lives and just put them on a set and let them fucking act at each other. So that's cool.
Yeah.
But I don't know, I don't think I've watched anything of serious note in the last 2 weeks. Keep watching. Oh, fucking Disney, speaking of, the fucking shithead conglomerate shut down Blue Sky Studios.
Yep, they sure did.
Let's see.
Rip Nimona.
Yeah, Nimona. That's what I was looking at. I was trying to remember the name of that show, or that movie. So Noel Stevenson was developing Nimona into a movie there, and that's not happening. Though, at the very fucking least, HBO Max is still apparently full steam ahead for Lumberjanes, so we've got that going.
Yeah, that's something, but...
Like, Nimona...
Honestly,
yeah. What were you
I was
gonna say,
looking forward to Nimona more.
Yeah, having, like, a big blockbuster, like, movie fucking ass movie release of something like that would have been great.
Mm-hmm.
Noelle Stevenson has earned her stripes with the She-Ra, so...
Yeah.
I can trust her to not to not queer bait me into the I mean, also just Nimona, just the text is there,
Yep.
So so rip that. No Steven Universe. There's never any Steven Universe news, y'all. We got into a dead franchise. It's been like a year, like almost to the day a year since Future wrapped up, though.
Huh.
Yeah.
Happy death day to Steven Universe Future.
Yeah, rip the infinite hiatus. Alrighty, well, unless you got anything else, we probably should get the fuck into this thing.
Yeah, we should. I don't want to be recording too much past my bedtime tonight.
Okay, so today we are talking about whatever it is that we do. We don't review. There's no reviewing here. Episodes 49, 50, 51, and 52. The Message, Political Power, The Return, and Jailbreak. First up is The Message, episode 49. It was written and storyboarded by Lamar Abrams and Helen Joe. And the official plot synopsis is Steven and the Gems try to receive a message from the Wailing Stone.
I'm not as mad about that as I thought I was going to be based on your tone of voice.
Yeah, it's just like... It struck me, like, initially I had this wave of, like, why is this so fucking useless? And I'm like, well, it's not that bad. And then, like, I whipped back around to, like, that's kind of bad. It's just not that bad.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying it's good. I'm just saying it's not the worst one that we've come across this season.
True. Definitely not. Like, so the plot is Steven, we open with Steven listening to a new song by Greg. It's from his upcoming album, Water Witch, that was inspired by the whole, Lapis Lazuli tries to steal the world's ocean to go back into space. He shows Steven a pretty fucking baller album cover that he drew. Like, goddamn, Greg. And then starts kind of like jamming with Steven on a new song. He initially starts kind of singing a song where Lapis Lazuli is the villain, but Steven sort of like takes over the song, singing about how like Lapis Lazuli is so sad, she just wanted to go back to space, and that how Steven helped her and everything. And then all of a sudden, horrible feedback starts ringing out through their equipment. They realize that it's coming from the temple, not from their equipment. Steven's like, come back to let's go check it out, and Greg is hesitant to go to the temple to check it out, so Steven goes by himself. We find out that the fucking Wailing Stone is just going goddamn bonkers. The Gems are trying everything they can to shut it up because it's like incredibly loud, and apparently it's just driving Amethyst up the fucking wall. And they try a whole bunch of various methods till eventually Garnet just shoves a pillow in there. They start speculating about what's going on with the Wailing Stone, that they used it previously in the Rebellion, but it's never sounded like this. Maybe they're trying... Pearl postulates that, like, maybe somebody's trying to send a message to the Wailing Stone, but the technology after thousands and thousands of years is no longer compatible. Steven, realizing that, oh, hey, this is an audio problem. My daddy-o knows audio. Heads out with Greg. Greg busts out all of his musical equipment, including a very fancy condenser microphone with the biggest windsock you've ever seen in your whole life. Shoves it into the Wailing Stone, begins processing the sound. The sound initially turns into music, but Pearl informs him, like, well, it shouldn't be music, it should be a voice. So Greg, pushing his equipment to its absolute limit, almost gets the voice to come through when it fries the battery in his truck. The Gems are disappointed in this. Pearl is real mean to Greg, while Garnet's like, hey, Greg, you tried. And then they go back to the temple to try and formulate a new plan. Greg, depressed about this, kind of sings a second verse to the Lapis Lazuli song, talking about how he tries really hard and he looks very much up to the Gems, and he wished that they would have a little faith in him to get this done. Steven's like, listen, Dad, you can do this. I believe in you. And Greg's like, listen, if I can't handle this, Like, I'm the audio guy. If I can't handle this, then maybe it's not audio. I don't know. And then Steven realizes, like, oh, it's not audio, it's video. They rush back to the temple, making a plea to the gems to help them. Smash cut back to the van where Garnet is charging up the van using her nebulous electricity powers. And Greg is filtering the signal till finally appearing on the screen is Lapis Lazuli, who gives a dire warning to the gems that Peridot is coming. She knows who Steven is. She's coming to Earth, and she's not coming alone. Pearl and Amethyst begin immediately losing their fucking minds about this, while Garnet grits her teeth and is like, whew, well, thank you so much, Greg. Just puts on a happy face. Kind of gets the other gems to, like, fall in line. And while we fade out on a heartwarming scene of Steven becoming Greg's robot son, we see the gems in the background being very, very upset. Star wiped the end.
Hang on, Little Bit's making noise.
Is he?
He's being really
What's he doing?
He is being really cute, but he needs to not do that. Actually, this makes it worse. Okay. I've been working on a knitting project, making a bunch of mitered squares to turn into a blanket. And I put the finished mitered squares in a plastic bag and put them on the little shelf behind my desk, and Little Bit...
Huh?
Little Bit started, like, making biscuits on the blanket and making crinkling noises that were showing up on my waveform, so I moved the plastic bag, and Little Bit has gone to the new location with the plastic bag to, like, sit on it.
He's a simple man with simple needs, August. Look at that fucking dog. She's dead. The animals. Hello, baby girl.
So yeah, Star Wipe the end.
Star wipe the end.
Can I start off by saying I love Steven and Greg bonding?
I wrote here, my first note was, let me scroll up, more Steven Greg time.
Yeah. It's just, I don't know, it's so nice to see them having a good relationship with each other. It's so nice to see them doing stuff together and being happy.
Right before all the happiness from the world is going to fade.
Yeah, I know. This is the last time we ever see Steven happy.
It's true. Mark it down in your calendars, y'all. All happiness is about to
Jesus.
leave Steven Universe.
Jesus Christ.
My second note was, I wish I had this vocal pedal. Actually, I know what. I could get that vocal pedal. I know what I could use to do those things, and it just makes me want one.
Yeah, Anya turned to me and was like, that's a pedal, because I didn't know what a pedal was.
Oh. There's the things I make all the noise with. I think I've sent you pictures of my pedal board before, I think.
Yes, you have,
Yeah.
but that doesn't mean I knew what it was.
Yeah, like the like Greg just being very a musician here, and it feels like very musician shit, frankly.
Yeah.
Also, that album art is dope, and I think it's actually very close to the album of one of the the album cover of a band called The Sword, but that could be any of The Sword's album covers because they're very much like a 70s throwback, like retro rock metal band.
It gave me really heavy, like, old school Blind Guardian vibes, honestly.
Yeah, vibe for sure. But Jesus, Greg, that's pretty good. Frankly.
Yeah.
Also, Steven plugs his guitar into a television. Video does not go over a 1/4-inch jack. Okay?
Yeah.
You can't send video over a fucking 1/4-inch. Video equipment doesn't have 1/4-inch jacks on it. Or if it did, he would be able to play a guitar out of it because it was a fucking audio jack. Unless he plugged into the headphone out of, like, some kind of, like, video production monitor. That maybe he did that. But I'm still mad about it. I don't know why.
I mean, it looks like a bog standard TV with a VCR built into it.
Yeah.
From, like, the early 2000s, so...
Right. Fucking when Greg is like, when you're in a one-man band, you've got to be good at, like, audio production, ticket sales, forum moderation, all that jazz. I was like, oh fuck, oh god, am I Greg Universe?
Yeah, that's where I was like, oh shit, is Greg Brian?
The older I get, the more I'm afraid I have become the Greg Universe. I am become Greg Universe.
There are worse cartoon characters to be.
There really are, but also maybe I'll get super fucking rich. That would be good. So yeah, apparently I'm becoming Greg Universe. I also did love the line, now hold the phone. Now give the phone to me. And also I think Steven might play guitar better than me.
Aww.
Like, for a fucking 13 or 14-year-old kid, man, he's pretty good.
I mean, I'm not saying he's bad. I'm just... Also, Steven hasn't done music for my podcast, so...
That's true. But I'm just saying, like, from purely a guitar playing perspective, like, Steven's fucking good for his age.
Yeah.
The Lapis Lazuli song, getting into the actual meat of the episode, the Lapis Lazuli song that Steven uses, I think is the coolest fucking way I've ever seen a show catch up an audience right before the finale, almost ever. Because all it is a quick clip show to give you, like, okay, so the threat's about to happen. You need to know who the threat is if you haven't been watching this. Because this was the first Steven bomb. These episodes dropped all at one time, designed to go together, you know? Mm-hmm. And, like, putting your clip show inside of, like, a musical montage, like, I just think it's a really fucking cool way to do that, as opposed to, like, doing a recap at the beginning of the episode.
Yeah. I mean, I was concerned mildly at that point that this was just going to be a clip show. I was obviously wrong.
Mm-hmm. I can see why you would be scared of that. Like, oh, this is just a bottle episode of Greg and Steven playing songs about the season so far.
I'm actually really happy, though, that the Wailing Stone came back. It's like, oh, hey, I remember this.
Yeah, like, it ties in a whole lot of, like, a whole lot of stuff that would have effectively been, like, either one-off jokes or just kind of, like, weird background lore things. Like, oh yeah, all of that stuff's coming back. Like, we built up, like, it makes it really feel like the season built up to this moment.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Why do you think Greg is so gun-shy about gem stuff? I wrote this and then it was explained later in the episode, like a dum-dum. Like, but yeah, like, it's interesting they're showing the because, like, they've always had Greg being like, oh, gem stuff, I'm outie. Peace, son.
Yeah.
It's always been weird that he's just, like, so averse to it. But it makes a lot more sense now, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, even before, it kind of made sense because it was one of those things where, you know, especially after, like, Story for Steven, where it's very clear that he wasn't necessarily welcome in the gem circle to begin with.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know, honestly, in this scenario, that kind of paints Greg's and Amethyst's previous friendship / relationship / whatever the fuck it was in a kind of new light, you know?
Right.
So, I don't know. Although, I guess it makes sense because Amethyst wasn't really like the other gems anyway, because she was born on Earth and she
Yeah.
was born, you know.
Yeah, because it really seems like he's directing those sorts of comments, not really at Amethyst, but more like Pearl and Garnet. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, Amethyst would hang out with Greg.
Yeah.
Does hang out with Greg. You know, does do other things with Greg, maybe.
Or at least did.
Did, yes.
Once, and it was awkward.
Yeah.
And they never talked about it ever again, except for Amethyst to make jokes about Greg's junk.
It's true. I mean, listen, dude, like, you know, sometimes you just gotta talk about somebody's junk. Make fun of them. You gotta put them in their place.
Jesus.
The Wailing Stone. So are the Wailing Stones just communication devices? Is that what they use them for in the Rebellion? Or are they like a deployable sonic weapon of some shit?
I mean, if you look at LRAD hookups in today, like, you know, they can be used for general communication as well as being weaponized. So
True, but I'm just wondering what the Rebellion did, because like Pearl seems confused because this should be receiving a message, so maybe it was just supposed to be a communication device. You know what I mean? Like, this does not seem like the regular behavior for this thing. But
I don't know.
maybe, who knows? Maybe they're just confused because it's doing the thing. Well, they said it's not, it activated, not like they activated it. So maybe it is just some kind of communication device.
I don't know. With the way that like it got initially presented to us, I feel like it's more than just a communication device, but it's definitely, the confusion is about like, why is this doing this? Because nobody else, you know, who was phone is really what it boils down to.
Right, exactly. Also, when Steven's like, do some gems sound like that? And Pearl's like, no. I'm like, wouldn't it be dope if some gems sounded like that?
Yeah.
It would be sick as shit. Because, like, one of the design aspects I was reading in, like, that had gotten, somebody had posted a comment from, like, one of the art books, which eventually I'll buy, but, like, when they're more relevant to what we're doing. Like, one of the designers was talking about, as you get closer to the homeworld, they tried to make the gems look more alien. Peridot being kind of like the first sort of shot across the bow about that. Or at least her initial presentation.
Yeah.
And so I think it would be interesting if, like, the gems just become these, like, weird fucking, like, they're just, like, they're weird and almost incomprehensible to humans, but that would be a lot for a children's show.
That would be a lot for a children's show, yeah.
Oh. My next note is this, because I imagine this is after, like, I also, like, my Daddy-O knows audio is great, is adorable.
Yes.
But my next note after this is literally I wrote, Greg is fucking me in this episode. This is, my notes are me slowly coming to the realization I have become Greg Universe.
Jesus Christ.
Is this what fucking Metamorphosis feels like? Is this what Kafka was writing about?
Oh my god.
I like the audio production thing. Just like, it's just because, like, that whole this, like, filtering a weird noise. All of the pedals are real pedals. They didn't make anything up. You wouldn't use them in any of those capacities. I wouldn't use them for what Greg was trying to do. But, you know, whatever. You gotta, like, fucking make your own art, right? Also, when he's talking about fuzz, like, everybody needs a little fuzz. And I was like, there are literally 5 fuzz pedals on the table next to my desk that I record from. So, you know.
Oh, buddy.
You honestly can't. All fuzzes are so different. Fuzz is good.
I'll take your word for it.
Also, you can mix audio, digital, and analog signals. You just need, like, a DAC. Like, God,
Yeah.
Pearl. God. The sound design of this fucking episode. in general, the sound design for Steven Universe is dope as shit, but like this particular sequence is really fucking good.
It is. It was very nice to see that, like, this episode was giving a nod to the fact that the Earthlings are not useless.
Right. Like, Earth is important. Greg is our, like, Earth surrogate. Like, kind of, we've got to remember that, like, yes, Steven is a crystal gem, but Steven's also a person. And so we need reminders about, like, yeah, it's cool to be a person. Like, people can do stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's nice that the show doesn't fall into the trap of non-powered characters are neither interesting nor fun.
Right. And, I mean, they obviously do that because they do a lot of characterization, but it's good to see, like rarely are the townies, like, integral to, like, saving the fucking planet. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I love the townies, but they ain't, like, fucking... Like, Lars ain't coming out here to save the fucking world. Lars is... Never mind, I'm not gonna say that. But I need sometimes I can, in fact, filter the comments I'm gonna make. Anyways. And, you know, in a similar respect, Pearl needs to take a fucking chill pill. Like, I understand she's stressed out. Okay, I get it.
But that's not an excuse.
Yeah, like, fucking, why are you being so... We know why she's being so mean, but Jesus Christ,
Yeah.
Pearl.
In front of Steven.
Yeah. And, like
Like,
I
that's
feel
his
like...
dad.
Yeah, and, like, I feel like Garnet was okay here. She was chill. She wasn't quite... Like, she wasn't, like, patronizing or anything. She's like, yeah, you tried. You did your best. Yeah. I don't know what Amethyst's like. See you, Gregory. Like, that was real weird. But
I feel like Garnet was... Sir. I feel like Garnet was still being a little patronizing. Like, I feel like it was pretty clear that she did not even expect anything to happen either, but she was at least being nicer about it, if only for Steven's benefit.
that's true. I think Garnet would just be nice about it. To be nice.
Really? Because she's the one who wanted to throw him in the fucking ocean.
Yeah, but that was
originally.
like 20 years ago.
I don't know. I feel like we've demonstrated time and again that Garnet does not typically have social graces.
She does when it comes to people that she's, like, familiar with. And I would say she's familiar with Greg. Not as familiar as Amethyst,
fair.
but, you know, familiar.
Fair.
I'm a monster. I don't know why I keep making these jokes.
Because it happened, and there's no way we can, like, make it unhappen.
And as we saw, when Greg was younger, he could definitely get it. The two verses of the Lapis Lazuli song that we get it's a good ass song. I think I like Greg's verse better. Like, I feel like this is because the last time we heard Greg sing a considerable amount outside of, like, Comet, like older Greg, I guess. Like, I just don't, I didn't feel like he did a very good job, and it may have just been, like, rush production, who knows. But I feel like he's definitely settled into singing a lot more as the season has gone on. But yeah, the like, Have a Little Faith in Me song is pretty good.
Oh, excuse me.
No worries. The yelling joke of, like, I'm right here, buddy, it's okay.
Yeah. I don't know, that shit like that is what helps that relationship feel real.
Yeah, because that's like a thing a parent says to your kid, because your kid's excited and you're like, all right, I understand you're excited, but I'm right here.
Yeah, like, that is a legitimate thing that has probably happened either to a Ow! Rude? I'm sorry, a little bit bit me.
Monster.
I feel like that's something that has either happened to a member of the Crooniverse or somebody witnessed it and thought it was a perfect interaction to put in the show.
Right. They have such a good understanding of like the like they put in such good little nuances of interactions to make them feel much more real just in general. Like the crew, like Steven Universe as a show, like as a whole, is pretty good about like they're just really good about having this like realistic feeling dialogue that isn't realistic but feels more real. You know what I mean? Like it's that Hollywood real, but you know, they put in like those little touches like this that help really sell relationships. Them breaking in and like what Garnet never demonstrates these electricity powers again, right? Like
I mean, I haven't seen it.
I don't think
like,
she has them before this or after this.
The only time you could argue that she maybe has electricity powers is that one time when lightning was about to strike Steven and she just like smacked it away.
Yeah.
Also, Amethyst, you fucking criminal.
Yeah, I wrote how many cars has Amethyst stolen?
Jesus Christ. Does she even know how to drive?
I mean, there's no laws when you're drinking claws.
Oh my god, Brian.
Amethyst, we will find out that Amethyst was like a little fucking goober, not terribly long ago when she was hanging out with hot young Greg and all of his friends.
Jesus Christ.
So she's definitely stolen a bunch of cars.
Oh my god.
I wonder how many people in Beach City realize that an alien is just stealing their cars and they're like, "Where's my fucking car?" Like just part of the problem of living in Beach City.
Aranon starts a blog about how aliens are abducting cars.
Man, watching Greg process that video signal makes me want to, like, reminds me how much I want to get into video synthesis. So, like, there's modular synthesizers, and then you can buy video modules for your modular synthesizer to augment video generation patterns with your analog synthesizer equipment. And I want it so bad, but it's fucking expensive to get into. It's like $200, $300 per little module.
Ouch.
It's so cool. I like how Pearl says, "What the frick?" Like, just let Pearl say fuck. Come on.
Yeah.
Like, bump the show one episode up to PG-13. You get the one fuck.
Oh my god.
The
two characters in Steven Universe so far who say fuck. Pearl, Connie.
It's true.
Like, I don't even see Amethyst saying fuck. It's either Pearl or Connie who drops the one F-bomb PG-13 Steven Universe gets.
Right? Like, because the thing is, you would expect Amethyst to say fuck, and that's why it's not as impactful.
Exactly.
Yeah. I like the shot composition of like Lapis's message and then like the break-in panels of like each of the crystal gems. It's really good. And then like the juxtaposition at the end of Garnet being like, "All right, pushing all these emotions down. Good job, Greg. You're great."
Yep.
Oof.
It's good, but I mean, I did appreciate the way that Garnet chose to like thank Greg for doing this. Like, it's definitely something that Garnet at the beginning of the series I don't feel like she would have done.
Right. And it also feels heartfelt. Like, she's not just doing it to do it. Like, I'm sure she is legitimately grateful that he was able to figure this out for them.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, like all the gems just looking fucking hollowed out in the background when Greg plays with his robot son.
Yep.
Woof. It doesn't let up from here.
I did see that jab at fandom that they made
Oh,
about I have the internet. I know every continuity error.
When did fucking CinemaSins start? When did CinemaSins start? December 11th, 2012. Okay, so it had been around for a hot minute.
I mean, that's not even necessarily a CinemaSins thing. I mean, CinemaSins definitely kickstarted the whole, like, YouTube nitpicky reviewer movement, but ultimately, like, fans squabbling over continuity issues is something that has been happening for as long as fandom has existed.
That's true, though I feel like CinemaSins helped codify it into content.
I think maybe it brought it more to the forefront of culture because CinemaSins is so easily accessible to people who aren't even necessarily diehard fans.
Yeah, that's true. Alrighty. Okay, do we have anything else about the message?
I do not.
Nope. Okay. Moving on to episode 50. Apparently, hold on a second. Sorry, I was looking at the Wikipedia page. Under the items list are minor objects and miscellaneous items, which I don't know why each of the... Like, it's this page on the wiki that has, like, just fucking every weird named item that exists in Steven Universe. The Lubbock's Cardioid Condenser 680 is listed here, and it has basically it's a microphone. It's got warm tones without too much top end, which frankly, considering that looks like a pencil condenser, I don't believe that. But you know, whatever, I could be wrong. It's Greg's mic. You put that much foam in front of something, it'll roll off highs anyways. All right. Moving on to episode 50, Political Power. This episode was written by Hilary Florido and Katie Mitroff. The synopsis: the gyms cause a power outage in Beach City, and Steven helps Mayor Dewey do damage control. Okay, that's fair. I'll take that one.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
I'll let you off the hook. That's pretty okay. Alrighty. The Crystal Gyms, we open up with the Crystal Gyms on the beach. Pearl has repaired one of the Robonoids and is beginning to do a test on a new invention, a robot disruptor that she has done. Pearl is like, all right, this might be dangerous. At least Steven's in bed. Turns around, Steven, he's not in bed. He's there. He's like, what you guys doing? She's like, you should be in bed. And he's like, well, what are you guys fucking doing? I'm already up. Whatever. What you gonna do about it? Nothing. That's right. Sorry, Mab distracted me by being like, Bo-Katan, call me. They activate the Robonoid disruptor. A large EMP wave erupts from the machine, knocking out power in Beach City, but not destroying the Robonoid in any way, shape, or form. Steven wakes up the next morning, gets a breakfast meal out of the freezer, and discovers that the microwave is not working. Turns out power is out across the city. We learned this when Mayor Dewey shows up, asking Steven about the gyms. He's like, I've been mayor long enough to know when some shit happens, it's probably their fault. And he asks for the tall one, the purple one, and the hot one, referring to the gyms as Steven's sisters. And Steven's like, my sisters? That's your pull? So he basically explains that the citizens of Beach City are going to fucking lose their minds. Pearl comes up and she's like, listen, you'll get power back in like a day. or never. Somewhere between those 2 points. And Mayor Dewey's just fucking losing it. She's like, come on, listen, I watched your fucking species evolve. Like, you did that hunting-gathering thing for a while. Just go back to doing that. Steven vows that they will help Mayor Dewey since they caused this problem. Garnet says they will not do that. Then Steven vows that he will help them solve this, or Mayor Dewey solve this problem, and begins running around with Mayor Dewey. We see the destruction, air quotes destruction. I don't know why I said destruction. Like the fucking city's been leveled. Some ice cream is melted. That's all that's really gone bad. Some destruction of ice cream. The citizens have gathered in front of the Fry Shack. Mayor Dewey consoles them, saying, hey, by this evening, we should have power back on. And Steven knows that this is a lie, and is very concerned when people are seemingly not taking this issue seriously. He heads back to the temple a little bit dejected, where he hears the Gems having an argument about the oncoming quote-unquote visit from Peridot, with the Gems sounding increasingly frantic and worried about the upcoming situation. When he appears, the Gems immediately switch tone, trying to placate the situation, make Steven feel better, downplay the seriousness of what's going on. They go inside to light a fire in the fireplace and maybe play cards with Steven when Steven realizes that the sun is going down and that Mayor Dewey had promised that the power would be on by now. He heads back to downtown where the citizens have gathered, and they're fucking pissed at Mayor Dewey. They're like, hey, you told us that the fucking power would be back on. He's like, listen, I'm a piece of shit. And they start throwing shit at him. He hides inside of the van. Nanofua is like, flip that fucking van. Which the citizens of Beach City promptly do. Steven begins to calm them down, like, listen, I know that the power won't be back. This will cause problems in your lives, but we are a community. We're a family. We are the light of Beach City. We should come together. We're not going to let something like this divide us in such a way that we hurt each other. And he starts equating Mayor Dewey's lies with like what the Gems are doing for him, trying to protect him from the truth when realistically they need to tell the truth. He heads back to the temple, confronting the Gems about this. They confess that Peridot is coming. She's a modern gem with modern technology, and they don't know what she's coming with or who she's coming with. They're almost certain to be overwhelmed, and they're scared. And Steven's like, listen, we've been scared before. We can get through this. I believe in you. I believe in us. This seems to reassure the gem somewhat, and then the power for Beach City comes back on. Star wipe, the end. I wrote New Robo-Dog. I don't know why I wrote that. I mean, I know it's because of the Robonoid, but I don't know why my first instinct was Robo-Dog.
I don't know. Steven collects pets that eventually bad things happen to?
Nothing bad's happened to Lion yet.
Is Lion really a pet, though?
Lion's like Tuxedo Mask of Steven Universe.
Yeah.
Just comes in.
Except he does shit.
It's true. I love both the sight gag of Pearl turning around to find Steven, and then Amethyst immediately just like using this as an opportunity to tease Pearl.
Yeah.
What were you going to say? Sorry, I cut you off.
My first note. Pearl, EMPs kill power grids.
I love the I put here in quotation marks meat. Peridot's coming here to fucking kick our ass. She said, meet me on the fucking playground. We're fucking terrified. The Pearl's machine and I don't know who was like, yes, this is how we will visualize the MP thing, but I love it. Of just like a little smiley face ping pong ball that just gets big and explodes, and then fucking an EMP rips out of the thing. Like, It's so weird, and I love it. It looks like a fucking car battery and a goddamn leaf blower, like, taped together.
It's very good. I love how Pearl just keeps throwing shit together out of random pieces, parts she finds around the house.
Right? She's very capable.
She's very good at it. I mean, she built an entire fucking rocket ship.
Right? So I watched the episodes 3 times as my usual watching, right? And the shirt gag of Steven just pulling off a shirt for another shirt killed me each time, and it's such a stupid fucking joke. Like, but I love it. I don't know why.
It's good is the thing.
No problem. It's like, wait, why are you... And I think it's the reaction of all of the gems of just being like, wait, what? Were you prepared for this? Like... So I also paused it in the next morning when, like, Steven pulls out his microwave meal. Do you know what the box says?
No, I didn't notice.
It says microwavable breakfast friends, and it's got the crying breakfast friends on the front.
Oh my goodness.
I also love how... I don't think he's been drawn like this before, but I love how big Mary Dewey's suit is on him.
It's quite a lot.
I love it very much. Oh, ding, 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 ding. New game. This is our new game. This is our new segment. Which one is the hot one? Where you determine which one is the hot one.
Well, I mean, he very clearly means Pearl.
No. Not who Mary Dewey thinks the hot one is. Who you think the hot one is.
Oh, I mean Garnet.
Fair enough.
Like, no questions asked.
No hesitation, Garnet. Would that answer change if this was 2 episodes from now?
Yes. We'll get there.
We'll get there.
I mean, they fall into the similar archetype of women who could kick my ass.
It's true. I mean, I feel like they quantify all of the crystal gems there.
I mean, yes, but they also look like they could kick my ass.
Okay. That is an important qualifier.
Yes.
After I wrote ding ding, I literally wrote in my notes ding 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 new game. Which one is the hot one? After that, I went, you are fucking barking up the wrong tree, my dude.
Yeah.
Like, my favorite thing is just like just reaffirming, like, yes, Pearl is like straight up a lesbian. Like, this is what Pearl is. Like, cause like, what is it? Oh, the Greg thing of like some kind of specimen of man, and Pearl's like, nah.
No, Pearl is incredibly lesbian. I feel like, Garnet is also incredibly lesbian, but in a different way. And Amethyst is just a pansexual gremlin.
It's true. There's like a later episode where like Mary Dewey tries to hit on Pearl again, and he like they're at like an event, and he comes and sits down next to Pearl, and Pearl, without saying anything, gets up and moves like 4 rows back.
Jesus.
I also love how quickly after Garnet says no, we won't, Pearl just dips out of the situation. She's like, all right, I'm out.
Yep.
Should we refer to the townies as boardies?
I feel like we've been referring to them as townies this far.
It's true. I'll probably never remember to do it.
Yeah.
Fucking Ocean Town, man. Rip Ocean Town.
Yeah.
4-1 out.
Ocean Town, huh?
Mm-hmm. Fucking, I mean, we all remember Ocean Town.
Mm-hmm. Too soon.
Way too soon. I counted. There are 10 people in this town.
Jesus.
At this little meeting of things that is going on.
I have a question, though.
Yeah.
Where's the fucking power company?
I know,
And why
right?
is the mayor beholden
like,
for them?
If the whole town has gone out and then the power didn't come back on, that means they knocked out the power plant, or at the very least some kind of distribution center, which is gonna cover more than Beach City.
Uh-huh.
Like, for all we know, like 3 fucking towns are fucking knocked out.
Yep.
And obviously the fucking U.S. government in Steven Universe is no better than the fucking U.S. government in the real world. With their weird fucking snake money.
And their $2 bills.
Mm-hmm. So what's our vibe about Mayor Dewey? Is he a craven piece of shit, or does he actually care? Or is it somewhere in the middle?
Based on this episode and the finale, there's definitely, I think that he's somewhere in the middle, but more towards caring about the town.
So, like, he cares about the town, but he's a coward.
Yeah, exactly. He's a cowardly politician, but he does care about the town because, like, you know, Steven's like, evacuate the town, and he goes and makes sure that everybody's evacuated largely without complaint.
Yeah. Like, even when he's talking about, oh, we need a slogan for this, it's not because he wants to make it seem good for him, just so he needs to, because he knows he has to sell it to the people.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like, he's not by any means a good person.
No.
Like,
no, but he does seem to take, at the very least, like, while he cares about staying in political power, he does so because it seems to be from a genuine care about the position that he's in.
Yeah, exactly.
I love Steven's weak little no when Greg gives back the fucking no.
Yeah.
So good.
It's very cute. Although, oh wait, no, that's later. Never mind.
So back at the temple, when he's coming up the stairs and we're just seeing the gem's feet, like just the little motion of like Pearl sort of like rubbing the back of her ankle with like her other foot is like just real good. Real good. Mm-hmm. You did not have to spend the animation budget on that, but they did.
It was very good. And I mean, like, I feel like that conveyed a lot because that seems like a very nervous sort of motion to do. Mm-hmm. And obviously Pearl is living in a constant state of panic attack right now.
Right.
So...
And, like, they just captured they did such a good job here of capturing the mood of walking up on your guardians or your parents, your parental figures, right? Having a conversation they don't really want you to know about because they don't want you to be worried. Like, it just fucking captures that, like, so fucking well. Like, it's such a weird mood when you know that they know that something, like, when you as the adult in the room know that the kid knows that something is up, but you don't really want to let on how severe the something that's up is. Mm-hmm. So, so, like, right after that, when we get the little, like, montage of, like, super still shots of Beach City, it's fucking dope. Like, just the still art of all of these locations that we're familiar with is really good.
Mm-hmm. Agreed.
Also, update, there are 14 people in town. I counted the second time.
Okay.
Added to the 4 people who changed. It's the same 10 people plus Sadie and Lars are here this time, and the 2 bodyguards are here.
Ah.
So.
God, I fucking loved the Fry father dunking on Aranon.
I wrote "fuck Aranon" in my notes.
Yeah. That was so good. I'm glad he knows. He knows which of his sons is the competent one.
It's true. Like, listen, I'm gonna leave my empire to the young one. I'm just gonna hope this one doesn't eat enough glue that he dies.
Uh-huh.
Fucking, so for real though, this town needs power. They can't just not have power.
Yeah. I mean, it's a tourist town. If there isn't any power, there aren't any tourists. I mean, we never see any tourists anyway, but
Like, just in their general day-to-day lives, they need power.
yeah.
Like, I mean, I like Steven's speech. Does a really good job of like illustrating like especially because we as adults like get what's going on with the gems, but I like how they lay it out, like what's going on, like what the gems' motivations are to like a younger audience who's maybe not picking up on all of the clues without it being like them turning to the camera and explaining the fucking shit to you. Like, I feel like that's handled pretty well.
Mm-hmm. My next two notes are Jesus fucking Christ Nanafwa and Jesus fucking Christ Onion.
I sent you that picture of Onion, right?
Yes, you did.
Onions with I send August a series every time Onion's basically on the screen. I send Onion I send August. You have to tell me if you're Onion.
Yeah, you send Onion a picture of me being like, now just wait a minute, but you're going to have to kill them soon, I'm sure.
Yeah. But I send August like a screen cap of Onion, and every time I think I write Onions with threatening auras.
Jesus Christ.
Just like I like Nanaflaw ready to kill a government official. Nanaflaw's done this shit before. She's killed a fucking small time politician.
Yeah. Absolutely.
The come to Jesus moment with the gems is pretty solid.
Yeah, I really liked the message of this episode and the way that it, like, honestly, I feel like the message of this episode is more for parents than it is for the kids. Just because it's like, don't sell your kids short. They're gonna pick up on stuff. Treat them responsibly. You know?
Yeah, maybe you don't necessarily have to go into like excruciating detail about what's up, but you can be truthful when something is up. Steven's little speech. He's in fact the leader of the Crystal Gems now. I feel like these 4 episodes are like Steven becoming the leader of the Crystal Gems. Like has usurped Garnet as leader. Yeah. I like how from this episode forward, or like these next 2 episodes, the theme is just like static with Love Like You play like breaking through it occasionally. I don't know if you noticed that at the end.
Well, this one is no music. The next one is no credits.
Oh, there's credits on both of them on my end.
Oh, okay. On the way that I was completely legally watching, there were no credits on the return.
Yeah, on Political Power, it's just the credits over static.
Yeah.
And then over the return, it's the credits also over static, but the song is breaking through.
Huh.
Mm-hmm.
Neat.
Yeah. Okay. Alrighty. Anything else about Political Power? You know what I like about this episode?
What's that?
It sets itself up to be yet another like Townies episode. You know what I mean? And then ties into the main plot like basically every Townies episode has, but just more explicitly. Well, okay, not every Townies episode. There's some that are, in fact, just kind of very self-contained. But, like, it feels like they've set you up with the Townies episode for you to expect this kind of, like, lighter, less dense, episode at the very beginning and then just like show you how all of the pieces here are interconnected. Like the town is connected to Steven, Steven's connected to the gyms, and the gyms are connected to the town.
Yeah.
It reminds us what the stakes are when we get to this next episode.
Yeah.
Speaking of, should we move on to 51?
Yep. Let's keep moving.
Okay. Episode 51, The Return. This one was written by Raven Mollesy and Paul Vellico. It's weird. I thought I would have expected Rebecca to have been on this particular episode. She's on the last, or they're on the last one. But interesting. What the fuck? I mean, this is true, but
God.
Holy shit. Okay, here's the synopsis. Fucking prepare yourself for this, August. A new threat arrives in Beach City.
Oh my god.
That's nothing. That's less than nothing. That's every episode.
That is...
This is a goddamn fucking, like, magical girl anime. Of course a new threat arrives. It's an episode.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Jesus Christ.
We open on Steven and Greg getting bits from Petey. Greg comments that asks Petey if he's closing up by... this is not in the official plot synopsis on Wikipedia, but I'm going to add in these parts about Petey. He's important, goddammit. Comments on Petey closing up by himself. Petey's like, don't patronize me, boomer. Steven is updating Greg about the Peridot situation, what they're doing to counteract those things, when all of a sudden they notice in the sky a giant green hand. It is the Peridot ship is finally arriving. They rush to the beach where they find the crystal gems, peering at it through a telescope. I believe it's the same telescope they were looking at the red eye through way back in episode 2. And hold on a second, I'm gonna sneeze. Okay, no, I'm not. Anyways, okay. They begin to go into action mode. They reveal the trio of laser light cannons, as well as the other laser light cannon, the one from that Red Eye episode, forming apparently called the Quartzine Trio. And they fire it against the ship, Steven using the activation phrase, if every pork chop was perfect, we wouldn't have hot dogs. We get this fucking great animation of like these 4 figures sort of being shot out of the cannon before it's just fucking slapped down literally by the giant hand ship. This has no effect. And the gems are like, okay, so we're going to have to fight them head on. This is going to cause severe damage to the town. We need to evacuate the town. Steven calls Mayor Dewey, who aids in the evacuation. When Steven returns back to the crystal gems after helping with the evacuation process, Greg is loading up the van, and Steven notices that Greg is also loading up Steven's luggage. Steven's like, listen, you guys need me. And Garnet gives Steven a speech saying that these people, like, you are our rock, you're the thing that gives us hope, and you need to be that rock and that hope for the people of Beach City. You need to protect them like your mother would. She would be very proud of you. This convinces Steven to go, loading up into the van, driving off with Greg. After which we see that the gems are basically fucking devastated after having to do this, because I'm pretty sure they think they're gonna die. While in the van, Steven laments, thinking like, well, maybe Peridot will get here and she'll realize how fucking sick nasty the Earth is, and she's not gonna blow it up. And Greg's like, ugh, I don't know about that, my dude, and begins to sort of like piecemeal inform Steven about what happened in the original Gem War through the context that he knows, and then we're filled in through flashbacks about what happened, about the Diamond Empire coming to Earth, extracting resources from it, destroying it slowly, Rose Quartz standing up against this, fighting that, and then ultimately the price they had to pay to get the Diamond Authority off of the planet. Steven is upset, saying, we need to go back, I need to help them. And Greg's like, no, you're my son, I can't, I'm not gonna lose you. Steven says, I need, let me go back, I need to help them, please, punching through the dashboard of the van and activating the airbag. Finally, he convinces Greg to go back, that they need his shield, the thing that Rose used to protect them initially back in the war. Greg agrees, Lion taking Steven back to the beach. Steven comes upon a scene of Opal shooting at the handship, and it seems to be of no avail. Basically, about the time they're like, well, at least Steven is safe. Steven's like, hey, guys. Basically kind of mirroring the message. And they're like, oh, Jesus Christ. There's no time to get Steven away, though. The ship has arrived. The giant hand lands on the beach, unfolds, and we are revealed we are revealed Peridot, Lapis Lazuli, and new gem, Jasper. Jasper immediately is just looks like is framed as a big fucking threat. Is coming down and is like, what is this? I thought I was going to be fighting the crystal gems. All I have here is a defective pearl, an overcooked amethyst, and this brazen display, referring to Garnet. She's like, you don't fucking need me for this. Just blast them with the ship. Steven becomes increasingly more scared. The gems are like, no, Steven, get out of here. And he's like, no, I need to protect you. And then summons his mother's shield to block the giant ship blast. Jasper turns around, recognizing the shield of Rose Quartz, and orders Peridot to fire a barrage, separating the crystal gems from Steven. She rushes Steven, referring to him as Rose, and is wondering why she's taken this form, why she's so small and weak, when Garnet appears and begins to fight Jasper. Though Jasper produces a gem destabilizer wand, slapping Garnet with it, breaking Garnet apart, and she poofs, falling into outlines of herself on the ground with 2 gems in each hand. And she then picks up Steven, monologues at him about how she's defeated the Great Rose Quartz, and then headbutts him in the fucking face, star wipe, the end.
Oh boy.
Fucking, it's here. First note, Petey, the only adult in Beach City.
I was reminiscing about how nice it can be to be a regular at a local food joint and have, them know exactly what you want by the time you get up to the counter.
Yeah. It's pretty dope.
I missed that.
Yeah. I remember going inside of buildings.
Me too.
I say this, I go into buildings all the time for my job, but...
There was a place next to one of my previous places of employment called the Pita Pit, which is evidently a chain, which I didn't realize.
I've heard of it before. I've never been to one, but I've heard of the franchise.
They're very good, but Friday is Falafel Friday at that one. And so I'd come in every Friday and I would get a falafel pita, and it got to the point that they knew how I liked it, so they had me completely rung up before I even got to the register.
Nice. I used to have a similar relationship with this place called Holy Land Market. It's like a Middle Eastern market that was near a place that I used to work. And I would go there and get lunch because they had, their lunch food is okay, but they had fucking great. Just their hummus was just fucking nuts. And I had a pretty solid The problem with me is I never order the same thing every time. I'll get different shit every time I go into a restaurant. Just depends on what mood I'm in. So I'm hard to nail down, but they did recognize me. You know what? So immediately after Petey being like, fuck off, Boomer, to Greg, which was really good. We get this scene of Greg, like, talking with Steven after Steven's, like, kind of filling Greg in on the Peridot situation. And, like, where Greg is worried and about to say, like, I don't know if you should be doing this, buddy. And then, thinks better of it and then, like, asks Steven how he's feeling about the situation, which I think is a really, really good and interesting choice.
I'm waiting for my cat's feeder to be done dispensing food because it's showing up on my waveform.
No worries. It'll probably get taken out
Also,
with the
I
noise
need to-
reduction plugin I use anyways.
Maybe, but I just like having clean audio for you where I can.
But yeah, I think it's a real interesting, and good that Greg is allowing Steven to gauge whether or not he's overwhelmed by the situation.
Yeah. Greg continues to be overall a very good dad.
They just do such good bad guy booking in a very short period of time for these bad guys.
Yeah.
Like, they just make them look like fucking monsters just like right out of the gate. Like, because we saw one laser light cannon destroyed the Red Eye, which was a big scary threat. And then 4 laser light cannons can't do shit. Also, what do you think about this ship being just a big fucking hand?
Okay, at the time, I was like, why is the ship a hand? And then I noted that the fact that it is pointing is kind of interesting. And for the further on the episodes went, the more I realized that it was probably a choice to, as goofy as it is, like, and it may be a little goofy so that way it's not too scary, but, you know, as goofy as it is, like, a lot gets communicated by the pose of the hand as far as, like, what is going on with the ship and what the ship is going to do. So I think it's an interesting choice. I think they did a lot of cool stuff with it. And as far as, you know, all the stuff I just said, so, you know, I'm cool with it. I think it was a neat choice that I would not have thought to make, but I'm glad they made it.
Just keep it in mind as we go forward and we see more stuff from Jim ships.
Oh boy.
So I wrote here, like, Mayor Dewey being like, let's all consider evacuation. I was like, this is every fucking politician talking about COVID.
Yeah. Well, it's like, I do think it's nice to see Garnet caring about the town now.
Mm-hmm.
It goes back to that kind of thing we were talking about during the message about, you know, Garnet may not have thought to praise Greg before. Like first episode of the season, Garnet almost certainly wouldn't have. First episode of the season, Garnet almost certainly wouldn't have cared about what happened to the town at all.
Right.
And it is interesting to see Steven leverage that relationship that he kind of had from the last episode to try to effect some sort of, you know, positive.
I mean, I feel like he does
outcome.
affect it. Like he does leverage this pretty well. Like he's got this
Yeah,
connection now.
I mean, it remains to be seen whether or not that. Well, okay, I mean, like the episode ended well and stuff like that, but you know, whether or not the evacuation was 100% necessary, you know, who knows?
Yeah, I know there's like some damage fallout, but probably like no more than your regular Crystal Gem encounter with the town.
Yeah.
So, God, Jesus, when the reveal comes back and Steven's like, hey, why's my bag packed? Fucking
Yeah.
rough. Like, ugh, buddy. So, So I also sent you a screen cap from this scene where like Greg and Pearl and Amethyst are just in the background of Garnet giving this like uplifting speech to Steven, just looking fucking sadder than fuck.
Yeah.
Which leads me to this question of like how much. So when she says that like Steven is like their rock and their hope and all that jazz, I believe that she believes that, right? But, like, how much of this is just a fucking line to get him out? Because she knows that if she doesn't do this, he won't leave them.
Do you... The way that I interpreted that sadness was... I didn't think that they were sure they were ever going to see Steven again.
Right.
And I thought that was why they were sad. I think that Garnet believes every bit of that, and I don't think that... Pearl, Amethyst might disagree, but I don't even know that Pearl necessarily would disagree with what Garnet was saying.
No, not about the part where Steven is like their like rock or the thing that gives them hope. I believe that she believes that. I'm talking about the part where she's like, you've got to go be that for them, like at the people of the town. You know what I mean? Like, to me, that feels more like, sure, she probably believes that on some level, but to me, that seems more of like, this is the line I know I have to give Steven to get him out of here. Because if we don't get him out of here, like, we're gonna die. We're ready to die, but we're not ready for him to die.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know. You're right. It's hard for me to say, again, because we've had such character development with Garnet and how she feels about the other people in the town.
Right.
So, I don't know. I think it's possible that she does mean that too.
That's true. Could be. I mean, she's seen Steven be inspirational to the town people too. Like, she's made all these connections. Donut Boy, the fishes.
Yeah.
Garnet's a pillar of the community now.
I would say that the fishes would probably... I don't know. I think the fishes would come to another barbecue if Garnet invited them.
Nanafwat definitely would. She's always fucking down to party. She fucking shows up with like a dime bag and a fucking case of beer. She's like, let's go!
Jesus Christ, you're not wrong.
Man, just the gyms immediately, like, Steven drives out a shot, and they're just like, all right, time to be sad. And Garnet, like, all right, we don't have time to contemplate dying. We gotta fight. If we're going down swinging.
Yep.
Fuck, and then Steven being like, maybe Peridot will come here and see how good the Earth is and not want to blow it up. It's like, you're such a good boy, Steven.
But also foreshadowing, because I know Steven befriends Peridot.
It's also kind of true. It's what happens. That's not true of every gym, though. Like, sort of, actually. Anyways,
listen, we know the premise of the show is friendship can conquer. Yeah. So, it's not like it's a huge spoiler that, Steven befriends basically every gym that happens.
Right. Fucking Greg coming to Greg having a panic attack that the war that his dead wife told him about has come to fruition. I mean, fair, but Jesus. Like, this is just fucking heavy, man. Like, this conversation in the car is heavy as fuck. Of Greg desperately trying to figure out how to explain the gym's history. Like, we get such an interesting picture of, like, the gym's history as told by the gyms, Greg's feelings on the situation, like, also just the mood of trying to explain something extremely complicated and, like, bad to your kid for the first time. Like, I have to explain war to my child.
I have to not only explain war to my child, but also explain that his other guardians are war criminals.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they're not technically war criminals. They just feel responsible for it. Well, I guess they were all alive for thousands of years before the Earth, so they're probably war criminals, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the only one who might not be a war criminal is Amethyst.
It's true. I would say Amethyst is not a war criminal unless she's committed like human war crimes, which she may have.
Yeah.
They end it with like probably like the greatest fucking line with like there's no such thing as a good war, kiddo.
Mm-hmm.
Like, holy shit. That is one of those like really solid you can pull out in any kind of storylines, I feel like.
Yeah.
Also, we're going to get a weird mirror of this conversation way later in like Steven Universe Future. So, in like a year, 2.5 years when we get there. No, wait. Almost, yeah, like a year and a half, actually. I forgot that we're going to just move through this thing at like a blistering pace once we're through this season.
I think it's really nice that the town cares about Steven and Greg. I even have a little crying emoji there because literally the entire town is like, holy shit, Steven and Greg, are you okay?
Right. Oh, also a destructive line of like, be careful. Oh, no, it's after that, yeah, where Steven's like, I've got to go save them. Greg's like, okay, and then he like drops the like, just be careful because I'm going to be fresh out of family. It's like, Jesus!
Yeah, that's, which, you know, explains why Steven's like, if something happens, Dad'll need a new son when he's telling Lion to stay there.
Lion thinking to himself like, if Steven dies, I'm just going back to the desert, yeah. I remember, he's like, man, I used to just hang around all day eating gym lizards. It was fucking dope. Now I just gotta, jeez. Then Steven leaves the worst voicemail in the history of voicemail.
Yes.
I wrote in caps, Jesus, Steven, what the fuck was that message? I love the flippantness of it. So, funny story about a flippant voice, like phone call in a situation that should be like way more serious. So, this one time I got arrested. I had apparently a bench warrant out because I didn't show insurance, a speeding ticket, even though it's a complicated story. I got arrested. And when I went to jail, or more or less I went to processing, and then I stayed in processing for 4 fucking hours. I used my phone call and I called Kevin, my friend Kevin, not Kevin from the show. I don't know why I clarified that.
Because
like,
sometimes you would be like, Kevin.
Yeah, I guess so. Like, I didn't call a cartoon character when I got arrested. But anyways, I called Kevin and he picked up the phone. And this is like, it's pretty late. And I called Kevin and he picks up the phone and he's like, I'm like, hey. He's like, hey. And I'm like, what you up to? And he's like, nothing. I'm like, cool. Well, I got arrested. And he's like, yeah, I heard. Like, I'm like, you need to call this bail company. And then the bail company never fucking called them back. And then they never bailed me out. And so we had to like post all of the bail. It was awful. Avoid getting arrested if you can. But if you do get arrested, do it for a good fucking reason.
Also remember, if you get arrested, shut the fuck up.
Yeah, just shut the fuck right up. Well, okay, I actually didn't follow that rule because handcuffed in the back of the police car, I turned all of my charisma on and talked my way out of getting, at the very least, getting a ticket for having a busted taillight.
Yeah, see, but not everybody has that much in charisma. For some of us, charisma was a dump stat.
It's true. Well, I used to get out of speed. I've been pulled over probably about 50 times in my life for speeding. but I don't have that many tickets because I used to have this old plan of in my old van the latch was broken on my glove compartment, where I would keep the like all of the the stuff, the license and registration, all that jazz, right? And I purposely left it broken. I left all my stuff in there, so when I would get pulled over for speeding, I would just play the like befuddled, don't know what's going on person. And I would open the thing and it would all fall out on the floor, and I would act like it's never happened before and be like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. Just be the most pathetic fucking creature in existence and get out of speeding tickets that way.
Oh my God.
Remind me after the show, I'll tell you about the time I think a cop thought I had like automatic weapons in the back of my car.
Jesus Christ. So you've told this story about getting arrested now on 2 separate podcasts, because I remember when that happened on your other podcast.
So fun fact, audience, I got arrested and still made it to the recording the next day for room wear because nothing will stop me from from recording, apparently. I like things that have not stopped me from recording. Having a tooth extracted, possibly having COVID, and definitely having pneumonia, getting a divorce, getting arrested. Nothing will stop the content.
Oh, jeez.
Where the fuck were we? Oh yeah, Steven arrives. From this point forward, when the palette shifts to like everything is green, God, it's good.
Yeah. And then like the music shifting as the ship lands and everything starts going to hell.
Right. I wrote the camera angles, the music, and this green tint. Hey baby, 90s anime is here.
You ain't wrong.
Because that's what it like it's not to discredit new anime, because new anime is also good, but like 90s anime has this like, especially
it's a very
like
specific aesthetic.
Yeah, and especially like magical girl shows or like shonen anime from that time, it through its art it communicates this level of gravitas that is sort of hard to replicate. And it's maybe because it's all hand drawn and it's all hand colored. It's not like it's not the really bright, really like popping digital colors, which Steven Universe uses. Obviously, it's a very bright, very like contrasty show, but by like washing everything in this green, it helps add to this like aesthetic and this sense of oppression and grandeur that's happening. And then fucking Jasper's here, baby.
I put fuck. Jasper sure is harpy bait, huh?
I know, right? My note was like, it was bold of them to make Vegeta a large butch lady, bold and brave.
Oh, so good. So good.
God, it's just like, and like, she is literally like Vegeta shows up in the fucking Saiyan arc. I swear to fucking God.
Yeah. Yeah. 100%.
Like, she has that sense of like, she's incredibly powerful, and she's dropping like future lore when she's talking about Yellow Diamond. Like, she is the villain of the first arc, like the first major arc. Like, she even more so than like, I guess, because Radix, I guess, is like the beginning of the Saiyan arc, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, like, all right, here's our fucking boss. Like, but you, like, just immediately lets you know, oh, by the way, there is somebody bigger than me.
Mm-hmm. Both literally and figuratively.
True. Yeah, the diamonds are very tall. All the Ava vibes are back, I feel like.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Steven Universe has a really good grasp on senses of scale.
Yes. Except for Peridot.
True. Not in character models, just in like, in shot composition.
Mm-hmm.
We do also get like our name drop of Yellow Diamond. And then just like fucking, man, they just like, Jasper's fucking brutal and it's great. Like,
oh, it's so good.
she's like even more so than like Peridot. Like she's the first like real bad guy that's shown up, you know? Because like the monsters, they're not bad guys, and we've heard so much. They've done such a good job of setting up like, okay, so all of the other gyms are really fucking scary, and we should be fucking scared of all of these other gyms. And then it's really hard to build up how scary these things are, and then the character you introduce immediately shows up and meets all of those expectations. Also, Steven's shield summoning is great.
Yes. I love it's completely trite, but I love the whole, the heroes get blasted and there's this plume of smoke, and then as the smoke clears, you see somebody shielded them, and it's like, I'm a sucker for that shit. I fall for it every time. It's so good.
We also are going to, this sets up basically the real plot for like the next 4 seasons of like when Jasper's like, what are you doing in that form, Rose? And everybody from Homeworld either not understanding or refusing to accept like Steven is not Rose. So that will be fun going forward. Then Garnet gets murked.
That's not going to be traumatic at all.
No.
Like, there's absolutely nothing traumatic about what happened and having her literally split apart.
Fucking, it was so, I forgot how fucking brutal it is.
It was, oh my god. That was so much.
It was a whole fucking lot. Oh my god, like, yeah, sure, I guess it's like a character death fake out, but we know that if we see the gyms, we know that the gyms are okay. You know what I mean? They have done enough to teach us that, but just like, like fucking Jasper immediately just fucking like wiping the goddamn floor with Garnet. And then, then Garnet just getting brutally murdered.
Yeah.
And no time to recover.
Even.
Yeah. There's no time to recover till we get headbutted in the fucking face. Sorry, what were you saying?
It's very good. No, I was just saying Garnet got fucking dismembered. Like, we literally saw bits of her detach themselves from each other.
God.
So, not traumatic at all.
Right? It's interesting to bring all these, like, I like the internet, like, because it's interesting that, like, Peridot is the only modern gym here, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And everybody else is kind of dealing with, like, all these old wounds in this scene, you know? Like, the gyms, they're all ready to, like, stand and die for this planet because of the war that they previously fought. Lapis Lazuli has her own trauma associated with this encounter, and so does Jasper to a degree, you know?
Mm.
I think it's interesting that, like, we talked up all these, like, new gyms and their new gym technology and how scary the new gyms are. And realistically, the scary gym who shows up is not a new gym. She's just as old as all the crystal gems are. In fact, fought them, probably.
Yep.
So, good heel heat for Jasper. Just, like, way to introduce a bad guy.
Oh, it's so good.
Let's see. Should we just move on to Jailbreak and then we'll just talk about everything? Or do you have some more notes? Real quick, ding, 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 ding. Same old game from before. Which one's the hot one? August?
Jasper. I mean, it's not like you didn't know that. It's
I know,
not like you don't know my tastes in women and non-binary women.
It's true. I had to make you say it, though.
I did. I said she's harpy bait.
I know. All right, moving on to episode 52, Jailbreak. It was written by Joe Johnston, Jeff Liu, and Rebecca Sugar. Official plot synopsis. Steven teams up with a new ally to rescue the Crystal Gems.
No.
It's untrue on multiple levels.
It's so... There's no new ally. We've... Technically speaking, we've met the people, all of the people here.
Yeah, there's no one new here.
Yeah.
And, yeah. Bad, not good. Bad, not good. Following the Crystal Gem's defeat by Jasper, Steven wakes up in a prison cell. He has a black eye and is blocked by an electrical force field. Steven eventually discovers that as he is half human and mostly organic, he can walk right through the field. He sets out looking for the others when he finds a little red gem in a prison cell. This is Ruby. She is surprised to see him. She's acting a little erratically, but she's wondering how he got out. Steven leans through, showing her that he can, in fact, be not affected by the wall. Suddenly they hear some singing, and Ruby recognizes this as the voice of somebody named Sapphire. Steven sets Ruby free, and they begin looking for Sapphire. As they are roaming through the ship, Ruby is still acting a little weird. And then they happen upon the cell of Lapis Lazuli. Ruby seems very unhappy to see Lapis. Steven is about to free Lapis when she refuses, telling Steven that he just needs to stop resisting. They're just gonna fucking kill us. And if we play nice, they will take it easy on us. And Steven's like, no, fuck that. In the midst of this conversation. Ruby runs off looking for Sapphire. Steven assures Lapis that he'll be coming back for her and runs off down the hallway. Steven overhears a conversation between Peridot and Jasper. Peridot talking about how she needs to check on the cluster, but Jasper's like, listen, we're taking Rose Quartz back to Yellow Diamond. And we discovered the source of the singing. It's Sapphire. She's a little blue gem. And she knows Steven's name. And Steven helps her out. And we hear Ruby yell for Sapphire. Sapphire grabs Steven's hand at an alarming pace, moves through the ship. Sapphire and Ruby unite, checking on each other. It's very cute. They kiss, and then they fuse to form Garnet. It's Garnet. She's a fusion. You knew that. We've talked about it forever at this point. Garnet apologizes to Steven for having to meet her halves in this situation, and asks Garnet if he made a good impression on Ruby and Sapphire. Garnet responds that they already love him, and then sends him off to rescue Pearl and Amethyst as Jasper shows up. Jasper and Garnet fight as Garnet sings the song Stronger Than You. Steven rescues Pearl and Amethyst. They pretty easily, seemingly, overpower Peridot, begin taking over the ship. Garnet defeats Jasper in the center of the ship, causing the power source to become unstable. The ship begins to crash. Peridot escapes in an escape pod. As Garnet returns to the bridge, she's like, the ship's going down. Steven laments that they need to save Lapis Lazuli. Garnet's like, there's no time. The ship crashes. Back on the beach, after the ship fucking just explodes on the beach, Lion uncovers the gems. They're safe and inside of Steven's bubble. Also here is Jasper, who rises from the wreckage because she is in fact an anime bad guy. She's like, I could defeat you if I had somebody to fuse with. Lo and behold, here is Lapis. And Jasper's like, fuse with me, Lapis. Ultimate power. Unlimited power. Also, fuck these guys, right? And Lapis finally agrees. They dance and form the giant fusion Malachite. Just as Malachite is about to turn and attack the gems, chains made out of the ocean, from the ocean, lock Malachite with Lapis saying, I'm tired of being everybody's prisoner. Now you're my prisoner. We're going to stay at the bottom of the ocean forever, dragging Malachite into the ocean. The gems just kind of like look on at the ocean as things are like bad, and then Steven's phone rings, and it's a very distressed Connie who's like, what the fuck, Steven? Starwipe, the end.
Oh boy.
Oh fucking boy. I wrote here, God, the art here is fucking dope.
Yeah. 100%. I think I said in a previous episode that gem tech looks really cool, and it still looks really cool.
It continues to look cool as shit.
Yeah.
So like, what were your initial, because like obviously you knew who Ruby and Sapphire were because you are queer who exist on the internet.
Yes.
But like, what are your vibes of like meeting like Ruby and Sapphire for the first time here?
I mean, I think it's kind of interesting, like, their different reactions to Steven. I thought it was very interesting that Ruby wasn't more interested in Steven's well-being. That was honestly a little off-putting because she was mostly concerned with getting back to Sapphire. And again, that's just weird because of how much Garnet very, very much cares about Steven. So
I think as we go forward, we'll see that like Ruby does care a significant amount about Steven, but also B has a tendency to be very single-minded in what she wants to do or what she needs to do. Like she's very hot-headed and very single-minded and like very focused on whatever her goal is at that moment. So it didn't seem necessarily weird to me to see it again for the first time, though you can feel the showrunners just really trying to downplay that trying to downplay like, oh, Garnet is the big reveal is going to be Garnet is a fusion.
Yeah. Yeah.
Also, I love how Steve, like, I put here in quotation marks friend when Steven's referring to Sapphire. Just gals being pals. Space gals being space pals.
It's so gay. Like, it's like, how do people not know that it's gay?
Everybody knew it was. Everybody at this point has been like, yeah, this show gay, right? Yeah, this show gay. Lapis is like a fucking depression icon.
Yeah, uh-huh.
What are your vibes on Lapis? Let me hear them Lapis vibes.
I don't know, like, obviously, yes, depression central. She clearly didn't have a good relationship with the crystal gems.
Right.
She clearly has no place back on the gem homeworld, as evidenced through the message. So it's just like, it's understandable for her to be depression central because where does she go? What does she do? Like, it's one of those. I'd almost want to have a little mini-series about, like, Lapis's experiences on the gem homeworld being so much a person out of time, you know?
Yeah, it would be interesting.
Like it's almost like some fucking Rip Van Winkle bullshit.
Yeah. I mean, we're going to get a lot of, like, Lapis spotlight time, so at least that's very good. Like, eventually we'll get a whole lot of, like, Lapis focus on what her vibe is, you know? But that would be interesting. I mean, that echoes like so many people online. Like, I just wish we could see X, Y, and Z, not from Steven's perspective, which is fair. I feel like that's a fair want. If like maybe there was if there were to be a follow-up Steven Universe show, it to not be about not to be focused on Steven, you know, like more gem focused would be interesting. Though I don't honestly at this point I don't know who that audience is, you know. Like, it's the hardcore Steven Universe fans. Like, Cartoon Network obviously is more than happy to make money off of it, but does not feel like making more of it.
Yeah. What can you do?
Yeah.
I mean, what we've got isn't bad.
No.
And, like, I'm certainly not opposed to leaving various things up to the speculation of the audience. And, God knows I write enough fanfic already, I'm not opposed to imagining things myself. It's just, it's an interesting thing to think about because of the way that Lapis is portrayed, what things must have been like.
Right, exactly. It must have been, like, really weird. And when we get to the Gym homeworld, it's a real fucking weird place. Most of my shit is just questions directed directly at you.
Oh, boy.
This one is, what do you think the cluster is?
I mean, nothing good for us at all. Like,
They do
there's
such
no way.
Oh, yeah, sorry. Go on.
There's no way that this is something that's good for the Earth or the inhabitants thereof.
What can possibly give you that impression, August?
I don't know. It's just a feeling I have.
They do a really good job here of, like, this is definitely a season finale from a show that's definitely gotten renewed. Because they're just setting up all of their pins to be knocked down for next season. Mm-hmm. But I think it's good foreshadowing without being, like, too heavy-handed about it, Like, they do a good job of teasing out whatever the mystery is going to be.
Yeah.
Ruby and Sapphire reuniting. They're fucking adorable. These two adorable little gays.
Gay.
They're so gay.
Yeah. It's adorable, but it's also a little heartbreaking because, like, Sapphire being like, "Are you hurt?" and Ruby being like, "Who cares?"
Mm-hmm.
Like, man, that's oof. Oof.
We'll get into that. Don't worry. We're gonna get. I think we get the question relatively soon into season 2. So. So don't worry about that. We're gonna get some explanation of that exchange. I feel like. And then so I don't know if this is true about your cut of it, but for whatever reason on my cut of it, somebody, like, edited in an AMV.
What? Are you talking about the Stronger Than You sequence?
I am, yes.
Yeah, it's good though.
It is
Like,
good. That's not to discount it, but it's got that vibe. You know what I mean? I don't mean that in a bad way.
I mean, I guess, yeah. I don't know. It's better than the bulk of the AMVs I've seen in my life.
True, but it has the spirit of an AMV, if not necessarily the execution.
Yeah, fair.
Also, Stronger Than You we have 6 seasons in a movie of this show, and Stronger Than You stays in the top fucking 5 of songs for this show.
It fucking slaps.
It turns out that Estelle, like an actual recording artist, just lays down some really good music.
It's so good.
Garnet's so sassy during it.
It's incredibly good. Oh man.
I wrote here, Jasper is Shadow the Hedgehog confirmed.
Oh my god.
Notice that she does the exact same spinning move that Amethyst does.
Huh. I actually hadn't noticed that.
Yeah, they both do the Sonic the Hedgehog spin.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm. Also, I love that Peridot activates the escape pod with her fucking face.
Yeah. Which, mood.
Yeah. Then I was real sad for Lapis. I like the anime villain arise. Like, I like how they just like, obviously we're here in trope land, you know. The bad guy rises from the rubble. No, she's not dead yet, motherfuckers.
Yep.
And then poor Lapis just can't get away from shit.
Yeah.
And then Jasper being the sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was like, Jasper is then like the leader of every like evil faction in wrestling, tempting the good guy.
Yeah, relationships only matter to Jasper when they serve her.
Yeah, she's a very transactional person.
Yeah. Because, like, you know, she's like, oh, fusion is a tactic to make weak gems stronger. You know, kind of like, you know, that's the whole, you know, emotional attachments only make you weak, blah, blah, blah. Kind of, you know, shonen anime villain vibe. And then it's like, as soon as it's something that she can use to further herself, it's like, oh, well, I'm gonna fuse.
Yeah, exactly. And then, like, they do such a good job of showing the dichotomy between those things. Because, like, up until now, the scariest fusion we got was Sugalite.
Yes.
Right? But Sugalite was still, like, humanoid, was mean, but was still, like fun and interesting, at least initially. Also was voiced by Nicki Minaj, you know? Like, had that going for her. And it's real interesting that, like, when we see Malachite is, like, decidedly, like, inhuman, you know? Like, looks more alien, is straight up and down fucking scary.
Yeah. She's presented as very monstrous.
Yeah. What do you think about, like, how do you feel about, like, Lapis's turn there?
Oh, man. I mean, you know, obviously, like, so what I wrote down was, Lapis, no!
Very detailed.
Yes, incredibly detailed. But I mean, like, no matter what, that you know, the fake out of Lapis going to the dark side, followed by what she actually intended to do.
Going
like,
to the dark side,
way,
then going further to the dark side.
Oh, man. Like, oh, it's brutal. It's so rough. Like, I can't imagine being trapped at the bottom of the ocean with somebody who I hate/hates me that much forever.
Yeah, they're gonna get into, like...
That's, like, literally some no children bullshit.
It's true. Oh, man. Talking about AMVs, oh, shit. Gonna make a no children AMV of Jasper and Lapis.
Yep. Just the final "you are coming down with me" hand in unlovable hand as the ocean just reaches out and fucking drags Malachite down. Which, interestingly, Malachite interacts very poorly in water.
That's probably not. That's probably not an unconscious choice by the Crewniverse.
Oh yeah, no, I'm sure it's intentional, but it's just very interesting because it does not like it. I think it dissolves a little bit in water, and it's very toxic. Mm-hmm. So
it's so ridiculous how, like, they always downplay it, but, like, Lapis is, like, the most powerful gem of any of the gems that we ever see, like, outside of, like, the diamonds. Mm-hmm. She's just, like, quietly the scariest thing in the room.
Yeah, I do think it's very interesting the way that Lapis is able to hold on to the fusion when it's obvious that, you know, because anytime the components of a fusion are at odds with each other, the fusion breaks down. But clearly Jasper doesn't want to be in the fucking ocean, but Lapis is just holding on.
Yeah, it's real. Honestly, it's the only time we see that, but it's definitely, the effects of it are not or not sort of dissipated once spoiler alert, Lapis and Jasper both show back up. And Malachite gets unfused, but like they dive pretty deep into like Malachite, the ramifications of that relationship and all that jazz in season 2 or 3, somewhere in that ballpark. I sent you a screenshot of a thing. So after Connie calls and is like, Steven, what the fuck? Justifiably so. I sent you a screenshot, and I've noticed this in the background, like, Pearl, like, holds on to Garnet every time she's, like, real sad about something.
Yeah.
It's very nice. I just want to notate it, I guess. Pearl always seems to seek physical comfort.
It's very good. I love these two moms.
Did you... is this the first time that, like, Love Like You has had lyrics?
Yes.
This season? Okay.
At least in the completely legal way that I've been watching them.
Okay. So what'd you think about the lyrics of the final song? Finally.
I liked it. It's very cute. I liked it a lot.
So, we have reached the end of Steven Universe Season 1. What do you think about Steven Universe, August?
I mean, I deeply enjoyed this journey, and I can't wait to continue upon it.
I feel like this is such a good, like, rewatching it, I'm like, God damn, this is a good fucking finale for a season of a show. Like,
yeah.
Because they moved to shorter seasons, we sort of get this, like, stutter step finales. So, like, season 2's finale isn't as strong as this finale is. But then season 3's finale is real big. Same with 4, then 5. You know what I mean? But I guess it's because they're treating them as kind of, like, you can't, not every fucking season can, like, they understand escalation of stakes, I feel like. You've got to set things up, and you can't just, like, every season cannot be the world is fucking ending.
Yeah.
It's hard to maintain that. But, like, it's interesting to see, like, watching it from this critical perspective in a much slower pace than what I'm usually used to watching it at. Like, watching these characters, like, grow and, like, change over just the course of season 1. And doing, like, the show doing a good job of, like, showing this change and growth, like, without having to, like, detail it out and spell it out, and still in a fairly episodic format.
Yeah. Yeah.
So.
I was about to argue about the episodic format, but yeah, you're right. It's...
It rides that line between serialized and episodic, for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff within here that is definitely serial, but a lot of it is stuff that you could watch in mostly no particular order, and, you know, it would still be a good ride.
Yeah. It was definitely designed for you to pick up, like, just tune in to, like, one episode at random. And then get hooked into it, you know? And I feel like that format changes significantly as we move forward in the series, because, like, their storytelling format becomes Steven Bombs. So they start designing their storytelling around these, like, pretty, like, tight, concise little story arcs, which I feel like was just a thing Cartoon Network was doing in that time. Like, they were really leaning into that, because, like, Adventure Time started doing that toward its end of its run, too. With, like, stakes and elements and shit like that.
Yeah.
So maybe it was just, like, a format that Cartoon Network seemed to, like, was working for Cartoon Network. The problem is it made for so many fucking hiatuses. Like, 100 plus days between getting 5 episodes of a series and then the next 5 episodes of the series, you know? Which is just brutal for pacing.
Yeah.
It's almost like they didn't want to make this show for some reason. We'll talk about it. I'm going to get the art book where Rebecca Sugar talks about Cartoon Network trying to fucking kill this show multiple times.
Oh boy.
But so what do you think's going to happen next season?
Well, I mean, obviously we've got Peridot running around on Earth, so Peridot's obviously going to come back. There's always the hanging threat of what could be happening with Homeworld because, you know, if there's got to at least be a cursory examination as to why this ship that they sent to Earth didn't come back.
Right.
Aranon storms the capital of Steven Universe America.
Holds Mayor Dewey hostage.
Yep.
With his fucking mall katana.
Oh, Jesus Christ. He is that kind of person.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited to get into season 2. We're lining up some guests for season 2. We've got one definitely lined up in the chamber. It's going to be a wild one. Y'all are going to love it. Let's go to the Discord. Hey, we take questions in our Discord and also on our Twitter, but mostly our Discord's a good place to hang out, and you should come hang out in our Discord. Because it's a fun place to hang out with. The link is in the description of the podcast. So, questions from Shannon. I have complicated feelings about Jailbreak because of Lapis and Jasper fusing is so clearly a depiction of an abusive relationship, specifically one in which the abused is protecting a third party, like a child, for example, from the abuser. Lapis doesn't win here. She just kind of locks Jasper's attention to keep other people safe. That's really raw for adults who have survived abuse to see, and it's a tough message to send to kids. My concern here is that Lapis' choice could be seen as heroic or even be emulated when it shouldn't be heroic, yeah, but it wasn't the best course. If you could rewrite this, what choice would you have Lapis make instead? I think part of it is that, like, obviously, like, as we will see going on, like, Lapis and Jasper are just sort of an allegory for a toxic relationship.
Mm-hmm.
But I think part of this is Lapis trying to protect Steven and, by extension, the crystal gems. And part of this is just, like, Lapis trying to just exert any amount of control over her own life.
Yeah.
Like, I don't see Lapis making another choice here. Lapis doesn't feel good about herself, as detailed earlier in the episode. Feels even less good about Jasper. And is like, fucking, like, exactly what we said before. No children, just like, if I'm going, like, let's just both fucking go. Like, I'm coming down and you're coming down fucking with me.
Yeah. Like, with the way that Lapis has been presented up until this point, I'm not sure that, like, the only other thing that I could see being even vaguely narratively satisfying is Lapis just going to the bottom of the sea and bringing Jasper along with her outside of fusion.
Yeah, exactly. Like Lapis starts acting as warden for Jasper unfused, even though that's exactly what she's doing now.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that Shannon's read is necessarily wrong. There are definitely elements of that, but I feel like a lot of this is driven by, like, Lapis's frustration, anger, and, like, need for control and just, like, lashing out.
Yeah.
After everything, the only, like, you know, it's exactly what you said, like, Jasper having this transactional relationship. After everything that's happened, Jasper having the audacity to be like, hey, aren't these people bad too? And her being like, you know what, they were fucking bad, but they're not nearly as bad as your fucking ass is.
Mm-hmm.
So, Shannon also asks, Jasper makes so much fun of fusions, but in the end creates a fusion herself. What's up with that?
Yeah, I think we talked about that already with just the way that, it's hypocritical and, it's, kind of a stereotypical anime villain thing to do where it's like, poo-pooing on emotional connection because it makes you weak. And then the minute that something like that serves them, they go for it.
Yeah, Jasper's just bad in this section.
Yeah.
She doesn't see the value in other people.
Until she can use them.
Yeah, exactly. And we'll find out that partially that's because of the society that she's been socialized in and everything like that. But, like, she has to work through that. That's not an excuse. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Izzy says that Garnet is hot. True. Agreed.
Yes. True.
Yep.
Uh-huh.
Also says, did anyone else think that Peridot was going to start spitting sick fire in the middle of the song, or was that just me?
No, I thought so too. And then, because like she started and it was vaguely on rhythm and then it fell out of rhythm and it's like, oh, okay.
Yeah, that's fair.
I guess.
I've already done this work for you, Elijah, but August, your thoughts on the alien spaceship being a giant arm? I stole that question from Elijah.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So those are my thoughts. Goofy, not a choice I would have made, but they did a really lot. They did a lot of really fun stuff with it. So
I will let you know this is not the last body part themed spaceship we're gonna see.
Because of who I am as a person, my mind immediately went into like a Georgia O'Keeffe style vagina spaceship.
Just keep that in mind.
Oh my god.
Also, Shannon, apparently Mayor Dewey is voiced by Joel from MST3K.
Huh.
Which I didn't know because I don't do that very much.
It's been a while since I've watched any MST3K, so I can't quite hear it, but I bet you if I watched some MST3K, I'd be like, oh
fuck, Mayor Dewey's here.
Yeah.
Shannon also says her big takeaway from Political Power is Mayor Dewey isn't wrong, but he's still wrong.
Yeah.
Listen, if any man was going to tempt Pearl, it wouldn't be fucking Mayor Dewey.
No. See, the only way that I see Pearl falling for someone that she thinks is a man is like she falls for somebody she thinks is a man, and that man, quote unquote man, later realizes, oh shit, I'm a trans woman. And then Pearl's like, oh, that makes sense.
Alrighty. So, next time on Gay Space Rocks, we will not be watching Steven Universe. We're going to take like just a 1 episode break and just watch something different. And I've talked about this before. I'm sure you guys have heard. But next time we are going to be watching the Adventure Time, I guess, special. Distant Lands. Is Adventure Time Distant Lands its own series or just like a mini-series? Or I don't actually know what's up. Anyways, we're going to be watching the Adventure Time Distant Lands episode Obsidian. We're not going to watch BMO. I like it. It's fine. But we're going with the gay one. So you can find that on HBO Max or other places on the internet. Yahoo Anime rules apply. And I guess just, yeah. Get geared up for season 2. Season 2 should fall into like a more normalized, we shouldn't have to like, once we get past like the first little bit of season 2, we don't have to, the episodes start lining up pretty easily with where you can acquire them. I know if you're watching on HBO Max, full disclosure is part of season 1, but some episodes that we've already watched are part of season 2. So once we get back to season 2, our first 3 episodes are going to be Full Disclosure, Joyride, and Say Uncle. So gear up.
Isn't Say Uncle the crossover episode?
Yes. The most contentious episode of Steven Universe.
I've seen that one. I don't know why
The only
I
episode
ended up seeing that one.
I love the fact that the Uncle Grandpa episode is the only episode he'd watched before this series. Honestly, I think revisiting it, I think it's going to end up being funnier than I remember it being. Because I remember at the time I really wanted the show to be like way more fucking serious, and I'm less of a fucking edgy little piece of shit than I was back then. It was also an April Fool's episode.
Fair.
Like, it literally aired on April the 2nd. So, like, you can't be that mad.
Okay. I'll give it another shot.
Yeah. That's in like 4 weeks, though. Next up, Obsidian.
Yeah.
Gayness. Gonna be solid. Alrighty. Well, I think that's it. Anything else that we need to... Do you think we need to do, August?
No, I think that's it.
All right.
I think the only thing that we need to do now
Be like Cookie Cat and leave your family behind. Peace.